Hello house lovers. You're going to get sick of me saying another glorious autumn day in Melbourne, but it is. Anyway, enough of that. Come and see my bathroom demolition. Yes, I have been very busy in the colonial shield door room, which, as you might remember, had its own bathroom built into the room. That had to go, obviously. And I have very successfully removed that this week. But maybe before we do that, we do have some council news. Council news, indeed. We had feedback from our planning officer. Obviously, everything has been locked down with COVID lockdown, but we finally got there. Melbourne City Council is undergoing a review of its heritage legislation in this area. And unfortunately, or fortunately, our house has gone from being not significant. There is just a heritage overlay on our bit of the street, which is really about streetscape and ambience, to the building becoming significant. Now, it deserves to be significant because it is, and we love it. But this happened in the middle of our design process, so the goalposts changed a little bit. Anyway, basically the council has verbally approved most of what we wanted to do, but we did want to go into the attic and build a library, which meant raising the roof. And because of the changed status of our house now, we can't change the roof line. Well, that's kind of okay. So as you can see, this is the front facade of the building. You can't really see the roof from the front of the building at all. And we originally were told that we couldn't do anything that was visible from the front. So we were able to do things that were visible from the back. The complication with our house is, though, it's also visible from the back, as you can see here. So this is the rear facade. And because we are near the apex of a triangular block, you can see the back of our house quite clearly. So the complication is that there's a heritage overlay on the street that our rear facade looks out onto, which has meant that we can't change the roof line. However, to me, this is not a great negative, because what we've decided to do, put the library somewhere else at the back of the courtyard in an area that was previously known as the garage. But anyway, we'll get to that. We might also be putting the good doctor's piano in there and turning it into a music room, because it's going to have better space, better acoustics, and easier to get that piano in the back door. All in all, I feel quite positive. Our council planner is great to deal with, so hopefully if we can get these amended plans in, we might get a decision from her within about 4 weeks. There has to be another 30-day notice, which is another month. So we could get approval in about 2.5 months, if we're lucky, fingers crossed. But house lovers, let's talk of prettier things. Come with me into the colonial shield door room and see my demolished bathroom. Ta-da! You remember there was a fully functioning ensuite bathroom, and now there is but a mark on the wall and a vacant lav. Can I just tell you how difficult it is to remove a lav? Now, I've taken the bolts out, I've taken everything off, but it is so silicon down that I've watched a number of YouTube videos, let's just say. Anyway, wish me luck, because my task today is the removal of that lavatory. House lovers, I'm not going to show you how gross this lavatory is, but I'm determined to remove it in one piece and find someone who really wants it. Part of this process has been to see what the floors are like in all of the rooms. So let's have a little look at this one. I'm going to swing around now. So you can see these are all Baltic floorboards, and really they're all in remarkably good condition, considering they're nearly 150 years old. But an interesting thing you can see here is where this area around the perimeter has been stained. So what was quite common in the Victorian period was to stain the outside perimeter of a room, the floorboards, in a darker colour, so that you wouldn't have to carpet to the perimeter. You would either have a rug in the middle of the floor, or you'd have lino, such as we had next door. And then the darker stain made the floorboards look like they were of a more exotic and expensive timber, like oak or mahogany. There was no lino under the floor, but you can see that more than likely there probably was a piece of that early lino attached into the middle of the room, like there is next door in the in the presidential suite. So I'm proud of my accomplishments yesterday. Here is footage of me being Butch pulling out the bathroom. Now, the whole process would have been a whole lot easier with a chainsaw. I know, taking out the wooden stud frame, but hey ho, I didn't have one. And I kind of relished having to work with basic tools. I realized the trick of the trade is to figure out your way into the construction. So the first thing I did was take out the shower screen because, you know, I'm kind of obsessed about saving that glass. I then just started to bash out the plasterboard, take apart the stud frame, and then finally bring that whole ceiling down. A few practical details. Obviously, we had plumbers through to disconnect all the water from this old part of the house. Second thing is electricity. Obviously, there is no power connected at the moment and the power is switched off at the mains, and we had a Sparky come through who said this place is a death trap. Wait, I'm going to show you how crazy the electricals are of this house. There is the mains board, and it is kind of a dog's breakfast slash custard. That just looks lethal. But wait, there's more. Look at this. Isn't that mad? See what I mean? It's a miracle anyone survived here. So what I did, which I'll show you over here, is make sure obviously that the power is disconnected. And then this was the only power cord coming from the circuit into the structure of this bathroom. So I cut the wires and then I just terminated the ends of each one. And the other thing I did was just chop off all of these water pipes that were coming up through the floor. You see, here is my saved shower screen glass. It is all reinforced, it's all industrial, great pieces, ready for you to make a greenhouse. Come and get it. Well, there we are, house lovers. My work is just about done here in the Colonial Shield door room. I have found someone who wants to carpet, which is great because there's two other rooms. There's George's room and there's the other back room that have carpet, which I can take up. Otherwise, I'm just about finished. I've just got to take up these floor tiles here and deal with that lavatory. I've got all the cistern and the bits outside in the courtyard, so I am going to put on the biggest, thickest gloves and scrub that baby for all it's worth, because someone's going to want it and I don't want to put it in the skip. There is still the woodwork here to deal with, so there are the famous Colonial Shield doors. So what I think I'm going to do is take those off and then heat gun them to strip off all the paint so we can see the beautiful cedar underneath. I'll keep you informed of that. House lovers, thank you for watching. It's been fun demolishing my bathroom. Well, not my bathroom, the bathroom, a bathroom. Only one slight wall wound. If you want a very clean second-hand lav, you know who to ask. If you want some reinforced shower door glass to build a greenhouse in Melbourne, you know where to find me as well. Until next week. Take care amidst all this COVID madness, and I'll see you next week.